Hey everybody, this is Jim, the Tabletop Engineer, and welcome to a new playthrough video. Today I am going to be playing Arkham Horror, the card game. I am playing through the campaign called the Circle Undone. This is the third scenario called The Secret Name. I'll be playing through it today. I've gone ahead and shuffled the event deck, set up the cards the way they're supposed to, shuffled my investigator decks, so I can get going as soon as possible. But before I do, I want to read the setup and also the agenda and the act. So if you remember, if you didn't watch it, go back and watch it. But if you did watch the last one, just to refresh your memory, my investigators were at the mansion looking into the disappearance of some partygoers. The house went a little crazy. They managed to escape, and as they were coming out, they ran into a man getting out of a very expensive car named Mr. Sanford. So here we are at the start of scenario 3. You tell Mr. Sanford about your experience last week, waking up in the middle of the woods, the strange mist that weaved through the trees, the witches and their spell. He leans forward and listens intently as you explain the night's strange events, your memories still somewhat of a haze. You conclude your story, and the elderly man considers your words. Interesting, he says at last. I know of this coven. They are led by a witch named Annette Mason. Their magic is no trivial thing. They have passed down arcane secrets that can manipulate the energies of the universe. It is dangerous knowledge they possess. Knowledge I believe they derived from a powerful witch who fled from Salem over 200 years ago. Does the name Keziah mean anything to you? You nod. Everyone in Arkham has at least some passing knowledge of the witch whose ghost supposedly haunts the old condemned witch house in French Hill. Most believe her to be a work of fiction, a tall tale meant to scare young children away from the decrepit house. Mr. Sanford's steely gaze and humorless tone makes it clear to you that this is not the case. Perhaps this Annette is a true descendant of Keziah, or perhaps she is simply using her name. In any event, I believe these events are connected. To that end, I have a task for you on behalf of the Silver Twilight Lodge. Carl Sanford rises to his feet, using his cane more for show than for balance. You rise as well, ready to perform whatever duties are necessary to get to the bottom of this mystery. We need as much information about this coven as we can obtain. If there is any place that will have these answers, it is the house where Keziah herself lived all those years ago. You nod in agreement. There are too many questions you need answered. What spell were the witches casting that night in the woods? What is their motive? And what is their connection to the creature that kidnapped those 4 unfortunate souls? You shake Mr. Sanford's hand and depart for the witch house. All right, it tells me in my campaign log to record the investigators told the lodge about the coven. All right, so what I do is I keep notes in this little booklet, and so I'm starting scenario 3, and these things to record in your campaign log, they will come back frequently later in the game, so you definitely want to track them. So the investigators told the lodge about the coven. Okay. All right. Important information. Then since I've gone ahead and done this setup, let me go ahead and read the agenda. Now, this first agenda 1A, 4 doom tokens will advance it. It says, look for answers within and not without. Many paths lead to the same answer. Contemplate the greater truth. Each non-weakness enemy gets +1 health. Great. And then as a fast action, after you defeat Brown Jenkins or Nahab, gain a clue from the token bank. 2 clues if there are 3 or more investigators. There are not. All right, so there's that. And the act, which this first act 1A is going to take 6 clues to advance. This is what I want to advance. It says, when you arrive at the old witch house, you find it in a sorrier state than you imagined. Surrounded by a crooked picket fence, the house looks as though it may fall apart at any minute. The front door is locked, but you are able to easily enter through one of the windows after pulling apart the rotting wooden boards covering the shattered glass. Objective: if each undefeated investigator is in Walter Gilman's room, investigators may spend the required number of clues as a group to advance. So I've got to find Walter Gilman's room. Now, it tells me that I start in the moldy halls, I believe. Let me double check that. The setup says... Okay, sorry. Set the following room, but cover yourself the remainder to build the encounter deck. Each investigator begins in the moldy halls. Okay, so I am in the moldy halls. Let me go ahead and reveal that. Now, just for flavor, it says, as you enter the witch house, you are immediately struck by the musty, stale air. The timbers smell of decay and mold. Paper peels off the wall. It is no wonder this house was condemned. All right. There are 2 clues here, and it has a shroud of 4, and it's haunted. Lose 3 resources. That's when it becomes haunted. So when you lose a skill at any location that says haunted, when the haunted is in play, you have to do what it says. But right now, the house is locked up. All right. So let me go ahead and draw Mark Harrigan's 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hope I don't get. Well, I hope I do get a weakness because I can shuffle it back in. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. Definitely, all these are good. I'm not gonna mulligan any of those. And then Daisy gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She did get a weakness, so I will shuffle that back in. That's a good one. That's a good one. I don't know. That's not a bad one. These are all pretty good. I'll keep them, except I get to draw another card, and I got Bulletproof Vest, which is a good card. And then I will shuffle this back in to Daisy's deck, and that is their draw phase. So they've each got 5 resources to start the game, and Daisy has a larger deck size, 15, and so 45 cards instead of the typical 30. That's why her deck is larger. But when she draws cards, she draws 2 instead of 1, and I have to discard 1 and keep 1. Now, if one of those is a weakness, I have to keep it. You cannot discard the weakness. All right, I think we are ready to go. Let's go ahead and... Oh, I have to add one of these bad tokens to it. The instructions said. So now the tokens are ready, and let's go. All right. Daisy is my lead investigator, so I'm going to let her go first. And what I'm going to do is she's my best investigator too, with a 5 investigate versus a 4 shroud. So what I'm going to do. Fast. Play only during your turn. I'm going to go ahead and get out Bulletproof Vest for cost of 2. Main reason being is she's got 5 health. This gives her a bonus 4, so I like to get that out right away. For her second action, I'm going to go ahead and play Working a Hunch. I pay 2, and it says play only during your turn. Discover a clue. So I already got a clue. And remember, I need 6 to advance that agenda. And then for my third and final, this goes to discard. For my third and final one, I can't pay. I only got 1, so that's a great card to get him to search his deck. But so what I'm going to do is investigate, and it is 5 versus 4. Let me see. Do I want to contribute anything to make that better? No, I don't. No, I don't. All right. I'm going to just do a 5 versus 4. Now, since they're at the same location, Mark can contribute something. I'm going to go ahead and play Evidence. It says play after you defeat an enemy, discover a clue. But actually, that is a good card for him to have, because he usually, if he's got to fight anybody, that's a way to get clues for free. but I really don't like the 5 versus 4 odds, so I'm going to play it anyway. 5 versus, now it's 7 versus 4. And I got the tombstone. The tombstone is -2. So 7 minus 2 is 5. I still beat it. If you fail and Nahab is at your location, she will attack you. I don't know who Nahab is, but she doesn't sound nice. So I do get the other clue, and that is Daisy's turn. Now Mark has an ally. He has Beat Cop. I'm going to put him out for a cost of 4 for his first action. And he gives him +1 fight, which is good. Then, for second action, I'm going to go ahead and get out first aid. No, I can't. Don't have the money. All right, so I will move. Now, none of these are revealed, although this one says the door to Walter Gilman's room is locked. Oh, there's Walter Gilman's room. So I already found it. Never mind. I didn't find it. It's just locked. As an additional cost to enter, investigators in the Molly Hall must spend 1 clue per investigator as a group. So 2. The door is locked as an additional cost to enter. So I must have to find the key and then spend 2 clues to open this. All right, well, that's okay. So that limits me to 3 rooms. Let's go here. So Mark will move here for his second action. That reveals this. There are 2 clues there. And it is also haunted, but right now we're not having to worry about that. You must either place one of your clues on Frank Elwood's room, that's this one, or place 1 doom on the current agenda. Okay, so I've got 1 more action, and what I will do is, I can investigate, but my investigate is 2 versus 3, and I don't have anything to help. So instead of doing that, what I'm going to do is play this 0 cost card to get 2 resources. So I'll get 2 resources, and that is the end of Mark's turn. So flip this over. Now, it is the enemy phase. There are no enemies revealed yet, so we go straight to upkeep. I flip these back over. They each get a resource. And Mark draws a card. He draws Guard Dog, another ally. That's good. He can have 2 allies because he has the Charisma card, which I upgraded recently. Also, Daisy has Charisma, so they can both have 2 allies instead of the normal 1. All right, so now Daisy draws 2 cards. 1, 2, and I got a weakness, so she has to take it. This is called the Tower. It is an omen card, a tarot card. You cannot commit cards to skill tests while this is in your hand. So it's in her hand. If the Tower is drawn in your opening hand, you cannot replace it. It must stay. All right, so here's the problem. It costs 4 to put it out, so I've got to pay 4 to basically get it out in the open. It doesn't do anything once it's out of my hand. It simply doesn't allow me to commit cards to skill tests, which that's horrible. All right, so now that they have drawn their cards, it is the Mythos phase. Place a Doom token. There is 1 of 4 needed to flip that card. And now they each draw an event card. Now Daisy went first. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to explain this. This is a deck of 7 cards called Unknown Places. I set it up based on the description in the setup. There was a way to organize it. It's sort of random. And there's a card in here that it said you have to make sure it's in the bottom 4 cards. So, but then you flip it over and shuffle it into the bottom 4. So I don't know where it is. But at some point, I'll be told to draw from this. Right now, not so much. So Daisy went first, so she draws an event card, and she gets Brown Jenkin, the Witch's Familiar, Creature Familiar Elite, Aloof, and a Hunter. So it's aloof, which means until I attack it, he just doesn't do anything. So, each ready creature enemy gets +2 fight. Forced. When the enemy phase ends, if Brown Jenkin is ready, each investigator at his location discards his or her hand, then draws that many. I need to kill him. Wow. Now, he's aloof, so he appears here, and he's a hunter. So, once I attack him, if I don't kill him, he's going to hunt for the investigators. So, I need to... he's only got one fight and one fight and 1 health, so he's pretty easy to beat. And now Mark will draw his, and he gets Diabolic Voices. Revelation. Test 3 will. For each point you fail, discard one random card from your hand. For each card you cannot discard, take a horror or damage. It gets +1 difficulty for each copy of Diabolic Voices in the encounter discard pile. Wow. Okay. Okay, so I have to keep that in here, but face up, so I track how many are here. All right, his will is 3 versus 3. I'm going to contribute. I don't want to get rid of first aid, so it's going to be a straight 3 versus 3. I hope I can beat this one. 3 versus 3. And I got the hooded, shrouded figure, and what does that correspond to? That is reveal another chaos token. If you fail, discard the top 3 cards of the encounter deck. Ooh, okay, which could have another Diabolic Voices in it. All right, so I have to reveal another one. I'm at 3 versus 3. 3 plus 1 is 4, so I did make it. So good, I don't have to discard. So this goes here. I'll make this the discard, but this is to track the number of Diabolic Voices that are out. All right, and it is now my turn. It is Daisy's turn. Can she fight? It is a non-elite. That is an elite, so she would have to fight it. Her fight is only 2. I don't like those odds. So I may leave him for Mark to fight. So what Daisy's going to do on her turn is she is going to move for 1 action. This stays here. It's aloof. And then she needs to get rid of this, but she really can't until she gets 4 resources. But I don't need to add any cards right now, so I'm going to investigate twice. 5 versus 3, and I don't want to use those. 5 versus 3. 5 minus 0 is 5, so I get another clue. So I'm at 3 clues out of the 6 needed. She has this card called No Stone Unturned. Choose an investigator at your location. That investigator searches the top 6 cards of his deck for a card, draws it, and shuffles the deck. Mark could find a weapon if it was in the top 6 cards, but it also costs 2, and she needs 4 to get rid of this, so I'm going to hold off on that. So she's going to investigate for her 3rd action, which is another 5 versus 3. 5 minus 2 is 3, so she ties it, so she gets the clue, 4 out of 6, and Daisy is done. Mark is going to move for his 1st action. I need to kill this guy. So, which is not going to be too hard. His fight is 5. The beat cop gives him +1, so 6 versus 1. What I don't want is the auto fail. So 6 versus 1. 6 minus 1 is 5, so I do kill Brown Jenkins. I'll put it right there. All right, so moved, fought. He's got 1 more action. I will move here up. This is another decrepit room. No markings or clues which would inform as to who this room once belonged to. Only the stench of mold and the sound of rats. Rats. It has 2 clues and a shroud of 3. As an action, search your deck for a blessed or item asset and add it to your hand. Group limit once per game. Oh, that's neat. Haunted. You must either take a horror or choose and discard an asset. Oh, that's a cool one. All right, so moved, fought, moved, and he is done. Okay, end of the turn. There are no enemies, so it's upkeep. We flip these over. They each get a resource. And Daisy's 1 away from being able to get rid of that nasty card. Mark draws a weakness, hypochondria. Add it to your threat area. After you take 1 or more damage, take a direct horror. Okay. After you take 1 or more damage, take a direct horror. It takes 2 actions to discard that, so I'll have to keep that in mind. All right. She draws 2. 1, emergency cash. 2, deduction. I love deduction. So I will, but she's doing so well. But it lets you discover an additional clue when you successfully discover. So I'm going to hold on to deduction. All right, that is it. We place another Doom token, 2 out of the 4 needed to flip the agenda. And now I draw cards. Daisy went first, so she draws Evil Past. Put Evil Past into play in your threat area if there's no copy of it already there. If there is, discard it and gain Surge. Okay, Forced. When the encounter deck runs out of cards, take 2 horror and test 3 will. If you succeed, you can discard this. All right, so, man. Now, Mark draws Diabolic Voice again. Now, remember, there's one already out, so now it's +1 difficulty. So it's 4 will, and my will is 3. So 3 versus 4. And I don't have anything to contribute, and she's not with me, so it's just going to be a 3 versus my 3 versus the 4 difficulty. 3 versus 4. I got the auto fail, which means I failed by 4. So, for each point you fail, discard 1 random card from your hand. I have 3 cards, so all 3 of them get discarded, which really stinks because Guard Dog would have been great to have as an ally. And since I have 1 more discard, but I don't have something to discard, I have to take a horror or a damage. I will put a damage, and it doesn't say direct, so I will put it on the Beat Cop. And now there's 2 Diabolic Voices out. All right, let's get going. Daisy needs to... I'm going to do this. For 1 action, I'm taking a resource. Second action, I'm going to pay 4 to put this out, to get it out of my hand. Now I can commit cards to Tess. And for her third and final action, I will play... I can't play anything because I don't have any money, so I can only move. So I will move here, and she is done. All right, Mark's turn. Mark can search for an item. Search your deck for a blessed or item asset. He could get his gun out. I'm going to do that. So for 1 action, I'm going to search your deck for a blessed or item. So let me get a weapon out. Which weapon? I think he has a few. That's 45. He has this 45. And it is an asset. Oh, it's an, hold on, or item. It is an item. And it's an asset. So I will put this in my hand. Add it to your hand. Okay. So it's in his hand. That was his first action. I have to shuffle this. All right. And for his second action, do I want to investigate? He's not good at this. I could move for second, you know what? No, I want to get the gun out. I'm going to get the gun out for his second action. I have to pay 4, and it's got 4 bullets, 4 uses. All right, 4. And for his third and final, I will move here and flip. No enemies out. He's still got hypochondria. Hold on, add it to, after you take 1 or more damage. I didn't take the damage, the Beat Cop did, so I don't have to deal with hypochondria. All right, no enemies, so we go to upkeep, flip these over. They each get a resource and a card. Mark gets Unexpected Courage. She gets to draw 2 and keeps 1. Deduction and weakness. I have to take the weakness. Discard all your resources. All right. And then it goes into the discard. All right, well, she only had 1, so that's not too bad. All right, end of the upkeep, put a doom. There are now 3 out of 4. And Daisy went first, so she draws a card, and she gets Racked. Put Racked into your threat area. Okay? You get -1 to each of your skills during the first skill test you perform each round. As an action, I can test 3 will. If you succeed, discard it. If there is an exhausted witch at your location, this test is automatically successful. Okay, cool. All right, so I got to remember she's at -1 to her first skill test, which in just a moment is going to be an investigate. All right, Mark draws Swarm of Rats. Hunter. All right, so it's with it, and it automatically engages with him, but it doesn't attack. All right, my turn. Let's deal with Mark. Mark has an enemy, so he's going to fight. He's 5 + 1 is 6 versus 1. 6 versus 1. If he wins, he defeats the rats. 6 versus 1. The skull is -1. Okay, so he does defeat the rats. Good. For his second action, he's going to move... You know what? No. 2 actions, he's going to discard Hypochondria. All right, and he is done. Daisy. 1, 2, 3, 4. She needs those 2 to get the 6 to advance that. So Daisy will move for her first action. She's at -1 for the first one, so she is at 5. I'll play deduction to make it 6, and then she's -1, so it's 5 versus 3. But if she wins, she gets both of those clues because of the deduction card. All right, 5 versus 3. 5 plus 1 is 6, so she gets both clues. She has all 6. Now this says, if each undefeated investigator is in Walter Gilman's room, you may spin the clues. So I have to get in this room in order to spin those. So that was not helpful. I mean, it kind of was, but I guess this is going to be something that's going to let me in here, I'm hoping. All right, so she moved, she investigated, and now she'll move back. And she is done, and this got played, and that is the end of her turn. She investigated, she did the -1, and she moves. All right. And then, as an action, I can test 3 to try to get rid of it, but I can't do that until my next turn. All right, so that is the end of the investigator phase. There are no enemies. We do upkeep. Flip these over. They each get a resource, and they get a card. Mark draws perception. She draws 1 magnifying glass and cryptic writings. Fast. Now, cryptic writings I'm going to take. Why? Because as a fast action, after you draw it, you can play it, and it gives me 2 resources. So she's got 2 resources, and that is the end of the upkeep phase. All right. I place the 4th token. These 4 trigger this. So I flip it over and I read the back. As you explore the old dilapidated house, the telltale scratching and scurrying in the walls becomes louder and more frequent. Every now and again, a fanged, furry creature darts across the wooden floor, scampering in and out of rat holes in the wall. You wonder if this house is more rat than wood. If Brown Jenkin is in play, he's not. I killed him. Search the encounter deck for a swarm of rats and spawn it in his location. If he is not in play, search the encounter deck and discard pile for him. Spawn it in the lead investigator's location. Okay, I have to put him back in play. Great. All right, so he's back in play, and he's back in play at the lead investigator. So he's here. Now remember, when he spawns, he's aloof again. It says if there are 3 or 4 investigators, you discard the swarm. Okay, so I'm not playing 4 investigators. All right, so now let me read agenda number 2A, the familiar. Each non-weakness enemy gets +2 health. All right, so now he's got 3 health. After you defeat Brown Jenkin or Nahab, gain a clue from the token bank. 2 clues if there are 3 or more. Okay, so all right. And it takes 6 doom to advance that one. All right, that was that. Now, Mark went first this last time. So he'll draw the first event card. Shapes in the Mist, Surge, Revelation. Oh, great. Resolve each haunted ability on your location. All right. So it gains Surge, but it also does. So it says lose 3 resources. So he loses 3, and she loses. Oh, wait, it's only for him, I believe. This was his Revelation. Yeah. Resolve each haunted ability on your location. I think she does too, because I think she's at the haunted location. So the rule of carnage, or the rule of do what's worst, that's what's worse. She might not, but I'm going to play it that way. Okay, now Mark drew, so Daisy draws, and she gets Fate of All Fools, Peril, meaning only she can deal with this. Revelation, you must decide. Choose one. If there is no other copy, put it into play in your threat area. She's got all these weird threats. If another one comes out, I have to take 2 direct damage, or I have to place a doom on another copy. So I don't want to get any more of these. Man, these things are piling up here. All right. That is the end of her pull. So now it is back to the investigator phase. I need Mark to engage Brown. So that's one action. Actually, he doesn't have to engage. He can just attack. You can attack even if you're not engaged. He'll attack. He's at 6 versus 2 now. Actually, that's plus 2. He's at 6 versus 3 health. Or 3 fight, excuse me. Is it plus 2 health? Oh no, hold on. Each non-enemy gets plus 2 health. Alright, and by the way, this one also had 2 health previously, but Mark more than beat him, so he would have died. So now he's got 3 health and 1 fight. So Mark will, if I use the gun, it does plus 1 damage, and I can discard the beat cop to deal a damage at your location. You know what? That's what Mark's good at, is fighting, so he's just going to fight this thing. For his first action, I'm not going to use my gun. I'm just going to, although it does do plus 1 damage, and that would help. Yeah, I will spend a bullet. So it's plus 1. So he's at 5, 6, 7 versus 1. 7 versus 1, but plus 2, but 2 damage. And I got the auto. I got the what does that do? Plus 1 for each damage. Nothing. It doesn't help. All right, but it does put 2 damage on this, and he's got 1 more health. So I will attack him again. He's at 5, 6, because I'm not going to use the gun. 6 versus 1. And that is minus 2. Okay, so I did, and that defeats Brown Jenkins again. And he's got 1 more action, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move here to see what's behind this door before Daisy goes in. All right, so we flip this over. 2, it's got a strategy, forced. After you reveal landlord's quarters, search the encounter deck and discard for a swarm of rats and spawn it in the moldy hall. Okay, here we go. All right. Shuffle the encounter deck. Well, I didn't have to pull out of it. I shuffle the encounter. Hold on. After you reveal, search the encounter deck and discard, and then shuffle the encounter. So you got to shuffle these back in. Great. All right. Well, the rats are here, so I'll shuffle. What is this? Oh, that was a weakness. Sorry. All right. Let me shuffle this real quick. And so what caused that? That was, when he moved into the landlord's quarters, and they will attack him. So that's not good. But it's still his turn. It's still Mark's turn. Even though that was his 3rd action, it's still his turn until I end his turn. Because I have a fast, I hate to discard the beat cop. I could just take the damage. Yeah. All right. So I'm here. The swarm rats will engage me, and Mark is done. All right. Daisy, haunted. Search the encounter deck and discard for swarm rats. Spoiled it. Search the encounter deck and discard. Search the encounter deck and discard. In moldy hall. Oh yeah, the rats are in the moldy hall. Sorry, they're not engaged with him. They're out here. All right. So they will attack her on her turn. On the enemy phase, they will attack. They will engage her and attack her. All right. So, and I can't really, even if I move, they'll follow. So, it is now her turn. Now, since the rats spawned here, they automatically engage with her. So I have to fight them. They are a non-weakness enemy. Non-weakness, so they have 3 health and 1 fight. Daisy is not the best fighter. She is a 2 fight versus 1, and she doesn't really have anything to help her, and she has no resources anyway to spend. Okay, if she moves, they get an opportunity attack. And then she'll attack them, and they'll attack her anyway. So let's just go ahead and fight it out and see what happens. All right. So her attack is 2 versus 1. 2 versus 1. First action, 2 versus 1, is a -1. So I do win. I tie, so it does a damage. Second action, 2 versus 1. I do another damage. And then third and final action, 2 versus 1. The skull is -1. So I did it. Daisy beat the rats all by herself. All right, discard pile. All right, so she is done. There are no more enemies, so upkeep phase, we flip this over. Each get a resource, boom, boom. Draw a card, Mark gets glory, and Daisy gets fingerprint kit or seeking answers. If you succeed, instead of discovering a clue, discover a clue to connecting location. She could investigate here and get clues, but this has a forced shroud. I don't like that. The fingerprint kit could be useful. Let's take that into her hand. All right, that is it for the upkeep phase. We place a Doom token. First one out of 6 needed. And who went first? Mark went first. So he draws Swarm of Rats, which engage him. And she draws Centuries of Secrets, Revelation. Test 5 will. For each point you fail, discard the top card of the encounter deck. If a curse card is discarded, deal 1 direct damage to you and to each of your allies. Ooh, okay. So, 5 will. My will is 3. And I guess I could contribute 4, 5. I will contribute 4, 5 to bump it up. That's a wild and a will, so 5. 5 versus 5. 5 plus 1 is 6. I did not fail, so that goes away. Excellent. Okay, that is it. Mark drew the rats, she drew that, so we're back to investigators. All right, Mark needs to kill the rats. He is at 6 versus 3. These stupid rats, man. I hate to use my bullets. Hate to use the bullets. Let's just attack them again. 6 versus 1 is a damage. All right. Second action, 6 versus 1. This is -2, so I do win. So another damage. Oh, put it on him, sorry. And then 6 versus 1 for the third action. 6 plus 1 is 7, so the rats die. All right. Okay, Mark is done, unfortunately. He can't do anything. But now she can move. How do I get into here? The door to Walter's locked. As an additional cost to enter, investigators must spend 2 clues. So she needs 2 to get in, and then the 6 to advance. I got it. Okay, so she will move for her first action. For her second action, she will investigate. She is 5 versus 2. 5 minus 3 is 2, so she does get that one. And she's going to do it again. 5 versus 2. This is her third and final action. 5 versus 2. And I got 5 minus 2 is 3, so she does get the last clue. Excellent. And she is done. All right. Enemies. None. Upkeep phase. Flip these over. They each get a resource. It has been hard to get and keep resources this game. Mark draws a card. He gets overpower. He's got all of the bonus cards now, or pretty much. She draws Ward of Protection and a weakness. So I have to take the weakness, which is called Ectoplasmic Horror. Hunter. The first time you reveal a chaos token while attacking or attempting to evade, reveal an additional token. She's going to have to kill this thing. All right, so it does show up here, which is not good. Mark will have to kill it. So it's engaged with her. And now we place a Doom token. And who went first? Mark went first. Mark draws Fate of Fools. He puts that here. But you must, if there's no other copy in play, oh, there is a copy right here. If there's no other copy, you can play. All right, so my choices are an investigator with another copy takes 2 direct damage, or place 1 Doom on another copy of Fate of All Fools. I'm going to do that. I'm going to discard this, and I'm going to put a Doom token here on hers. And now I have 3 Doom out, because I think we're getting close to, I hope. We'll see. All right, that was Mark's card. Now Daisy draws. and gets pulled by the stars. Put it into play in your threat area. Here's another one. At the end of your turn, if you did not move at least once, take 2 horror. As an action, test 3 will. If you succeed, you can get rid of it. All right. Oh, man. All right, so she's just stacked up with all this stuff. All right, my turn. Well, Mark will engage the ectoplasmic horror. That is one action. He will use a bullet. And his fight is now 5, 6, 7 versus 2. He does an extra point of damage, which is enough to kill this. 7 versus 2. And I got the Elder Sign, so he automatically gets +1 for each damage. It seems like he passes. So he kills this. And that was his second action. He's got one more action. He will move here, and he is done. Yeah. All right. He's got 2 bullets left. All right. Daisy, on her turn, this says if you don't move at least once. So she moved, so this is good to go. And she'll move again here, 1, 2, and she'll pay the 2 to unlock the door. Because it says the door is locked. As an additional cost to enter it, you have to pay 2 clues. So she enters it. It has 2 clues on it and a shroud of 4. She's got one more action. As an action, draw 3 cards and take a horror. Haunted, discard the top 2 cards of the encounter deck. All right, so she's got one more action. Well, hold on. Mark has to also be in here in order to use the 6 to advance that, so he can't get in there. So I might as well, I could use that action to draw 3 cards and load her up. Let's do that. I'm going to use this and draw 3. 1, 2, 3. Please don't get a weakness. I did not. Excellent. All right, and she is done. All right, no enemies. And upkeep, flip these over. They each get a resource. Mark draws. Flashlight, that will come in handy, maybe. She draws 2, the Necronomicon and an ally, and she has to take this. This is a weakness. Put it into play in your threat area with 3 horror on it. It cannot leave play while it has 1 or more horror. Treat each Elder Sign as, now I have to treat Elder Signs as an auto-fail token while this is in play. As an action, remove 1 horror from it to Daisy. Then, if the Necronomicon has no horror, you can discard it. So she can take the Insanity to get rid of this, but it takes an action. Okay. She drew her cards, so now we put the Doom token. There are now 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 6. Mark went first. He draws Disquieting Dreams. Test 5 will. If you fail, put it into your play area. Well, let's see first off if I fail it. His will is 3. I will contribute 4, 5. 5 versus 5. He has nothing else to help me with that. 5 versus 5. I hope I don't fail. 5 versus 5. The skull is -1. I did fail. I failed by 1, but it says you put it into play in your area. At the end of your turn, discard the top card of the encounter deck. Forced. When the encounter deck runs out, discard Disquieting Dreams, reveal the top 10 cards of your deck. Draw each weakness revealed and discard the other revealed cards. Well, thankfully, there's a lot of cards in the event deck. All right, so we are done. No, he went, and now she's got to draw. She draws the same thing. Test 5 will, Disquieting. Hers is 3, 4, 5. 5 versus 5. Same exact thing. 5 versus 5. She did. She passed it. 0. All right, so this goes away. All right. Now it is my turn. All right, Mark, you will move. Actually, enemies? No. Oh, wait, hold on. At the end of your turn. Well, that's at the end of his turn. So we'll go here for 1. Mark. Oh, now because we're here, we can turn in this 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And flip this. Standing in a dead man's room is disconcerting enough, but what you find within is enough to make you want to leave and never return. Walter Gilman's journal is filled with descriptions of his dreams and visions, each more terrifying and perplexing than the last. He mentions seeing the figure of Keziah Mason on more than one occasion, and at one point calls her by another name, Nahab. As soon as you read the name aloud, the nearby window shatters, and an all too familiar spectral mist invades the cramped space. When it recedes, everything about the room is changed. A work desk and an aged bookshelf occupy the far corner of Gilman's room, where his bed should be. The door you entered from is gone. Strange geometrical markings drawn with a sticky red substance cover the walls. Swap Walter Gilman's room with the set-aside Keziah's room, taking its place. All tokens are now at the new. Remove each other location and play from the game. All right, so this, all these go away. I didn't get any victory points for them. Doesn't matter, so they can go away. This comes here. They're here. These two go, and this gets replaced with Keziah's room, which is in this set-aside pile right there. Okay. Keziah's room. All right. It has no clues and a 3 shroud. A fast action. After you successfully investigate it, instead of discovering clues, put the top card of the unknown places into play, unrevealed. Then you may move to it. Okay, so all of these can be reached from his room. That's kind of cool. All right, so choose. Oh, okay, hold on. So I swapped it. Remove each location. Like choose an investigator to take control of the set-aside black book asset. All right, there's a black book in here. All right, black book asset. It's not a bad card. It's an asset. Shuffle both set-aside copies of Strange Geometry into the encounter deck. Strange Geometry, both of them, into the encounter deck. All right, so let me shuffle these real quick. All right. Okay, so that's done, and then I can read the Act 2. Beyond the Witch House. Among the books in this strange room is a black, nameless tome inscribed with dried red blood. It matches a description from Walter Gilman's journal of a tome he names the Black Book. This room must be the haunt of Keziah Mason from over 200 years ago. It is rumored that Keziah had discovered deep mathematical truths that allowed her to traverse space and time. Perhaps you can find a way out using this knowledge. Objective. Only investigators in the Witch House ruins may spend the required number of clues to advance. And I need 10 clues. Man, that's a lot. All right. So, and it's hidden in one of these. And there's like 7 cards here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. So I'll get the clues from here. And I have to find the witch's haunt, witch's house ruins. Okay. Witch house ruins. All right. So he moved. And then they paid the thing. So he's got 2 actions left. So as a fast action, after you successfully investigate, you can put the top card of the unknown places. So he needs to investigate. 3 versus 3. And I can play... Max command. Oh, hold on. He's got 2 actions. So I'm going to play Flashlight. Flashlight for 2. And it gets 3 uses. And now I will play, I'm going to hold on to these cards. Now I'll use the flashlight to do one final investigate. I'm doing 3 minus 3 to 1. 3 to 1. This flashlight lowers this by 2. 3 versus 1. That is minus 2. Okay, so I do it. So I can either get a clue or reveal a location. I'm going to reveal a location. Or not reveal it. I'm going to put it here. You may move to that location. All right, so we're here. And he's done. That was his 3rd and final action. All right. He investigated. No, he put the flashlight up for his 2nd action. He investigated 3rd. So he is done. All right. What we can do is use him, because this will. Your location gets minus 2 for this investigation. So it goes back up to 3. Shoot. Okay. she's going to move here. She moves. It's got two clues. Shroud of 4, and it says, after you successfully investigate the physics classroom by 2 or more, discover a clue at another revealed location. Oh, nice. Okay, so she moved, and she's got 2 more actions. So she will investigate here. She will do... She's got 5... 5 versus 4. I don't like those odds. 5. I'll play this to make it 6 versus 4. And I will play this to make it 7 versus 4. 7 versus 4, and I need to beat it by 2. 7 versus 4. This is reveal another token. 7 versus 4. 7 plus 1 is 8, so I did defeat it by 2. So I can discover a clue here, and it says discover a clue at another location. So I'll take this one. And she got 2. And then for her third... Oh, I never assigned this to anybody. You get +1 will and +1 investigate. When you play a card, exhaust it and take X horror, reduce that card's cost. I'm going to give this to Mark. All right. So she moved, she investigated, she's got 1 more investigate. I will do a 5 versus 4, and I cannot contribute anything else. 5 versus 4. Oh, that means I won't be able to discover that clue unless I get a +1. 5 versus 4. And I got the +1, 6. So I did do it by 2 or more, so she gets both of these. And she is done. Nice. All right. Enemies, none. Upkeep. Let's flip these over. Draw a resource for each. 1. Mark gets a card. He gets Steadfast. When you have 5 or more remaining health and sense. Okay, good card. She gets Scrying and Preposterous Sketches. Play only if there's a clue at your location. Discover 3. Scrying. Exhaust it, spend a charge, look at the top 3 cards of any investigator's deck, return them in any order. Ooh, I like that. I will take that. All right, that is their card. Now it is time to place the next Doom token.
Check out the new RPG and Wargame newsletter. Each week, the Tabletop Engineer shares news, products, Kickstarters, and much more related to the gaming hobby. It's free to subscribe, so check out the link in the video description below to sign up.
All right, place the 4th. Actually, it's the 5th with this one. And I can't get rid of that, unfortunately. So we're getting ready to flip that thing over. Now, who went first? Mark did. Mark draws. Pulled by the stars. Put it into play in your threat area. At the end of your turn, if you did not move at least once, take 2 horror. Okay, so she did move, so she's okay. I got to get rid of this, and I got to get rid of that. And then Daisy draws Brown Jenkin. He just doesn't go away, does he? All right, that is the end. Mark needs to get rid of this mess. So and Disquieting Dreams. At the end of your turn, discard the top card of the encounter. I haven't been doing this. Sorry. Revelation, Testify, Will. Force. At the end of your turn, discard Force. When the encounter deck runs out, okay, so I can't get rid of this. At the end of your turn, discard. Yeah, this is going to stay. Oh, all right. I need to test 3 will. The book gives me +1, and because I really do need to get rid of this, so my will is 3. This gives me 4 versus 3. I don't like those odds. So what I will do is I will exhaust the black book, take X horror. I will, and it says reduce the card's cost by X. Oh, I can't. Never mind. I can't use that. Never mind. When you play a card. All right. Steadfast. Oh, I can play this. While you have 5 or more total health and sanity, which I do, it gains 1 will. While you have 10 or more, which I do, it gains 2. So I will play this. It's a 0-cost card. It gives me 2 will. So I'm at 5, 6. 6 versus 3. 6 versus 3. This is -1, so I did do it. All right, so this goes away. And then Daisy draws Fate of All Fools. Again, Place a Doom on another copy or an investigator with another copy. If there is another in play, if an investigator with another copy is in his or her threat area, it takes 2 direct damage. You know what? I'll take the 2 direct. I don't want this out. So 2 direct damage to Daisy. Now I think I can put that on the bulletproof vest instead of an ally because this is her asset. So yeah, I can do that. I just couldn't put it on an asset or an ally. All right. She's the one wearing the bulletproof vest. All right. And that is the end of that. There are now 5 Doom tokens out. 1 more and this flips. So we got to get moving. All right. So I'm going to leave Brown out. Daisy cannot take the time to kill him. So let's do this. Mark, it's his turn. He will investigate here. He will investigate. He'll use a flashlight to knock it down to 1. And he is at 3. No, he's at 2, 3. 3 versus 1. Okay. Auto fail. All right, he failed on his first action, and he used a flashlight. So he'll burn the last of his flashlight, and it's 3, 2, 2. How did he get that? 2. How did I get the? No, it's 2 plus. How did I get the third one? I can't remember. All right, it's this. Duh. So 3 versus 1. The black book gives him +1. 3 versus 1. Come on. 3 minus 3 is 0. So I failed. So he did not. Golly, I can't believe I did that. So he failed on his second action. Was that right? Did I do? Let me do this right. He did an investigate and he failed. He did another investigate and he failed. So he's got 1 more. Now he can only do 3 versus 3. 3 minus 1 is 2. So he just totally hosed it. All right, Mark didn't do anything for me that turn. Daisy's got to get rid of some of this stuff. Test 3 will. Her will is 3. 3. She has nothing to contribute. Test 3, if you succeed, discard. Let's get rid of pulled by the stars, because which she's going to keep moving, but it's -1 to. We'll get rid of racked. 3 versus 3, and I have nothing to play. So 3 versus 3, and I did. This is +0. If you succeed, draw a card for each tome. Well, I don't have any tomes out, so actually, no, I don't. So, but she did succeed, so she can get rid of this. That was her first turn. Second turn, I will do it again. I'm going to do it for this one. Test 3 versus 3. 3 plus 1 is 4, so she got rid of that. That was her second action. Third action, she will move, and she is done. And now, unfortunately for me, Doom is going to advance. All right, so no enemies. This one's an enemy, but he's aloof. He just stays there. They each get a resource. And draw a card, and he gets Elder Sign Amulet. That's a good one. She gets Hyper Awareness and Power Word. Attached to a non-elite enemy at your location. If an enemy... Oh, neat. But it costs 3. Hyper Awareness... I don't really need You could get Agility. Let's hold on to this one. We'll hold on to that one. All right. She drew her 2. All right, so we place the 6th and final Doom. All the Doom go away. This advances. A dizzying violet light emerges from the crevices of the ramshackle house, behind cracks in the wooden paneling and underneath the floor, bathing you from every angle. An inhuman squeal mocks you as a figure emerges from the witch light. Only a hint of humanity remains in her crooked and broken form. The crone cackles with a nightmarish timbre, her voice echoing and resounding from the realm beyond. If it is in Act 1, it's not, it's in Act 2. If it is in Act 2, spawn Nahab in Kezia's room. She's right here. How easy is that? Spawn. If it is Act 3, okay. Shuffle both set-aside copies of Ghostly Presence into the encounter deck. Excuse me. These get shuffled into here. And then it says, find Brown Jenkins and place him in Nahab's location. So she summons the Rat Man. All right. And she, oh man, okay. All right, he comes down here. Now, he's still aloof, but she says she's got 2 health, 1 fight. Hunter retaliate. Do not remove Doom from Nahab when the agenda advances. Nahab gets plus X fight, where X is the number of the current agenda. The agenda is 2. So she's plus 2 fight. Whew. Forced. After the enemy phase begins, if she is ready, place 1 Doom on her. I need to kill her fast. Alright. So, that advanced the Doom, or the agenda. Let me read the next agenda. The Witchlight. In the dazzling violet light of dream, the old woman with the fanged furry thing came again and with greater okay, blah, blah, blah. It's just flavor text. Each non-weakness enemy gets plus 3 health. After you defeat Brown or Nahab, gain a clue from the token bank. Okay. And you know what? I never did that. I defeated him before, and I never took a clue, but I'm not going to retro it. That was my fault. All right. So, it is now... I advanced the agenda, so now they've got to draw cards. Mark went first, so he draws Racked. Put it into play. You get -1 during the first skill you perform. You can test 3 to get rid of it. Daisy draws Meddlesome Familiar. If Brown is not in play, he is. Search him and place him. Otherwise, search and counter. Okay. For him, spawn him and take 1 damage. Oh, okay. She takes another damage. Her bulletproof vest has 3 out of the 4. All right. They're in Kaziah's room, so they're going to need to kill these things. Mark has 2 bullets, so he's good. So here's what I'm going to do. Mark... I will choose, as the leader can choose who, when she spawns, she would engage. So she'll engage Mark. Now his first fight is going to be at -1. This thing has 1 plus 3. It has 4 health and 1 fight. No, it's plus 2 fight, because it's the agenda. So it's plus X fight. So it's 3 fight, 4 health. All right, got it. 3 fight, 4 health. So Mark's going after Nahab. All right, Mark will burn a bullet. Since it's got 4 health, if he hits it twice, he'll kill it, because the bullet gives him +1 damage. So 3 fight, so he's at 5, 6, 7 versus 3. 7, oh, and -1 for his first ability check. So he's at 6 versus 3, and let's bump that. Let's do overpower to make it 6 plus 2 is 8 versus 3. The only thing I don't want to see is the auto fail. 8 versus 3 for 2 damage. This is -1, and it says -3 if you're in an extra dimensional location. I am not. These are extra dimensional. This one is not. Alright, so he does do it. So he puts 2 damage on her. Then... oh, and this doesn't have any victory, which means she's going to go back in the deck. Ugh. All right. He'll use his last bullet to do it again. And he is at 5, 6, 7 versus 3. That is -2. If you fail and Nahab is at your location, she attacks you. But I didn't attack, so I did kill Nahab. I didn't kill her. I guess I just dispelled her. And then this says, after you defeat Brown or Nahab, gain a clue from the token bank. Okay, so I get a clue, another one. I'll give that to Mark. So that was his second action. He's got 1 more action. He will attack Brown Jenkins. Brown has +3 health. He has 4 health and plus... oh, just 1 fight. Nahab's the one that gets the extra. Yeah. 1 fight, 4 health. So he will fight it. And since it's aloof, it will engage him since he's attacking it. So he is 5, 6, 6 versus 1. 6 versus 1. -2. So if you fail, and I didn't fail, so I put 1 damage on him out of 4. And then he will engage me, which is fine. And that is it for Mark. You get -1 on test 3 if you... Okay, so at the end of your turn. It's the end of his turn, so I have to discard the top card, Bedeviled. All right? When you can... Okay, so you just discard it, because when this runs out, I'm going to take a whole lot of hurt. All right. Mark is done. Daisy could attack him, but I need her to investigate and find more locations, because I got to find this witch's house thing. All right, what was this? This was the agenda, which goes there. All right. Okay. Daisy will do an investigate. She is 5 versus 3, and she'll burn. Let's get some resources out. Let's do the fingerprint kit for 1 action, 4, and it has 3 uses. And now I get +1 investigate when I use it, and if you succeed, you discover another clue. All right. So but I need that for when I go to these locations. So the second action she's going to do is to do this again, 5 versus 3, and she'll contribute this to make it 6 versus 3. And I do it. Okay, so that reveals this card. That was her second action, and for her third, she'll move here and reveal it. 2 clues. 3 shroud, and it says test 3 investigate. If you succeed, move to any revealed location. Limit once per game. Nice. Okay. We need to keep getting clues to advance that to 10. Only investigators in the witch house, but I got to find the witch house ruins. All right. We are still a long way from doing that. So she investigated, moved. No, she played fingerprint kit, investigated, then moved. So she is done. All right. I didn't use this yet. Okay. Enemies. There aren't. Well, Brown Jenkins. Brown will attack him for 1 and 1. I will take the 1 and put the 1 insanity on the beat cop. Okay. Upkeep. Flip these over. They each get a resource. And he draws a card. He gets physical training. She gets Forbidden Tome and Curiosity. When you have 4 more cards, it gains this. Exhaust it. Spend draw 1 card. Then you have 10 more cards, and there are no secret. I'm going to take this one. Gives me better investigate and better will. All right. Doom token at 1 out of 8. Mark went first. He draws Centuries of Secrets. Test 5 will. For each point you fail, discard the top card of the encounter deck. If a curse is discarded, deal 1 direct damage. All right, to you and each of your allies. Ow. All right, so I got to pass this, or the beat cop goes away. Test 5 will. I'm at 3. Remember, I've got racked, so I'm -1 already. I don't have enough to do this. 3, 4. I don't want to get rid of Elder Sign. No. This would make it 4 versus 5, which just reduces the number of cards I got to get rid of and the direct damage I got to take. I'm going to fail this unless I get a +1. So I will contribute this. 4 versus 5. I need a +1. And I didn't get it. I got reveal another token. Okay, I'll do that. 4 versus 5. Come on, +1. That is -2. So I failed it. Mayhab is not at my locations, but since I failed it, that was 4 minus 2 is 2. I failed it by 3, so I got to discard 3 cards. 1, this is a curse. 2, not a curse. 3, curse. 2 curses. Each curse, deal 1 direct damage to your investigator. Damage. So he's got 3, and that's enough to kill the beat cop. So the beat cop goes away. All right. And by the way, I get this because it's a victory 1 because I successfully investigated all the clues. So I'm going to put that over here. I don't think I'll need to go back to it. All right, where was I? That was that was Centuries of Secrets. That was Mark drawing that. So he failed it, and now she draws her event card, and she gets same thing, Centuries of Secrets. She has no allies, which is good. 5 will. Her will is 3. She gets anything to help her. She's a -1. No, she's not. She doesn't have that card. Oh man, 3 versus 5, and she doesn't have anything that she could. Oh no, she can contribute this. When you have 4 more cards in your hand, I don't. So it only gives me +1 will. When you have 4 more cards in your hand, it gains the thing. So it only gives me +1, which is 4 versus 5, and I really do need to use that. So I'll burn it. 4 versus 5. I need the +1. Come on, +1. 4 versus 5. That is -1. So 3. I failed by 2. 1, not a curse. 2, not a curse. All right, but the event deck is getting low. All right, my turn. Daisy can spend. If you succeed, you discover 1 additional clue. All right, she'll use the fingerprint kit as an action. I exhaust and I burn one of its uses. She gets +1 investigate, and if she discovers 1 clue, she gets 1 additional. So she'll get both of those. So she is 5, 6, 6 versus 3. 6 versus 3. 6 minus 1 is 5, so she gets both clues. I'm getting good on the clue. 4, 5, 6, 7. I got 7 out of the 10 I need, but I need to find the witch house. All right, so that was her first action? Yeah, that was her first action. She used the fingerprint kit. Second action, move to a revealed location. Oh, I should have used him first to reveal. Oh, no, can't do it. All right, this goes away, by the way. If you succeed, move to any revealed location. Well, darn it. Okay. I should have had him go to hopefully reveal another location. But I didn't, and I'm not going to undo that. So instead, I'm going to move her for 2, second action. And for her third and final action, she will take a horror off of the Necronomicon. All right. And she is done. All right, Mark needs to get me another location. So Mark will investigate. He's got racked. Let's get rid of that. Test 3 will. His will is 3 versus 3. 3 versus 3. Oh no, he's got brown, stupid. He's got to kill this rat. All right, so he will fight it. He's at -1, so he's 5. He lost his beat cop, so he's 5 minus 1 is 4. 4 versus 1. 4 versus 1. 4 plus 1 is 5, so he puts another damage. That's 1 action. Second action, fights it again. 5 versus 1 this time. 5, that helps. +1 for each damage, 3. So yeah, he definitely beat the tar out of it. And for his third and final action, 5 versus 1. 5 minus 1 is 4, so he does kill Brown Ratman. All right, and he's done, unfortunately. That's all I could do. Darn it. All right, shoot. Okay, there are no enemies. So upkeep, resource, and card. Ooh, he got Shell Shock, a weakness. For every 2 damage, take a horror. Well, he's got 2 damage, so he will take a horror. All right, that is here. She draws Encyclopedia and Burning the Midnight Oil. When this action begins, get 2 resources, exhaust it, spend a secret, choose an investigator, and gets +2. Ooh, I like that one. Yeah, let's kick that one. Okay, +2 to any skill using Encyclopedia uses. Okay, Doom, 2 out of 8. Who went first this time? Daisy went first, then Mark. So Daisy draws Terror in the Night. Test 4 will. If you fail, put Terror in the Night into play next to the agenda deck. If you fail by 3 or more, it gains Surge. If there are ever 3 copies of this next to the agenda, discard them, and each investigator takes 3 horror. Okay. Her will is 3. She can use Encyclopedia to make it 4. And he's at her location. Does he have anything to help? No, he does not. Darn it. That's going to be a hard one. All right, so she doesn't really have a choice. She'll donate this to make it 4 versus 4. 4 versus 4. Ah, I did it. All right, 4-0. All right, that goes away. Now, Mark draws Bedeviled. Put it into your play in your threat area. You cannot trigger fast action abilities on cards you control, which would be this one. Test 3 will. If you succeed, you can get rid of it. All right, so that's not good. If I had a weapon, I would not be able to use it. Okay, all right. That's that. Now, let's do Mark first. Mark needs to get rid of this stupid racked card, but he also needs to get us a location. Let's see. Test 3 will. His will is 3. 3 versus 3. That's a waste of an action if I fail it. He could investigate at -1. So his investigate is 2 versus he's not gonna successfully investigate it. So let's get rid of that card. 3 versus 3 on his first attempt. Actually, -1 skills. So 2 versus 3. All right. Let's do it. 2 versus 3. Maybe I'll get lucky, get the +1. 2 versus 3. I did not. I failed it. All right, now he's at 3 versus 3 for his second action. He failed it. And for his third and final action, 3 versus 3. And I failed it again. Ugh. All right. At the end of his turn, discard a card. All right. She needs to find a location. So she will investigate 5 versus 3, and I will use I'll just do a 5 versus 3. 5 versus 3 for her first action. 5 minus 2 is 3, so she can reveal another card. That was her, and I'm going to do it one more time because I need to get these locations revealed. So, for her, was that her first action or second action? That was her first action. Second action, she's going to do it again. 5 versus 3. 5 minus 1. She is not in an extra dimensional location, so she reveals another one. And for her third and final action, she will move to one of these. You know what? Or I keep her there and I get them all revealed so I can find that stupid Witcher. Let's do that. For her third and final action, she's going to do it one more time. 5 versus 3. And she does. All right, so we got 3 unknown locations out, which is good. One of those might be that witch ruins. I need 10 clues to advance that, so I'm not there yet. All right, so she is done. There are no enemies. So upkeep phase, flip these over. Get a resource and a resource, card, dodge, and she gets knife and flashlight. I will take the flashlight. And that is the end of the upkeep phase. Now it's time for the doom phase. All right, put a doom here. That's 3 out of 8. Mark went first, so he draws Shapes in the Mist, Surge. Resolve each haunted ability at your location. Discard cards from the top of the deck until a hex is discarded. Draw that card. Okay, so I have to keep going until a hex. Oh, this deck's getting low. It's getting low. Oh no. No! Come on! No hexes? Seriously? Oh, man, he's going to trigger that last. No. Hex! But here's the problem. All right, and I draw it. But here's the problem. This card, Disquieting, says when the encounter deck runs out, Discard this, reveal the top 10 cards of your deck. Draw each weakness revealed and discard the other revealed. Alright, so here's how it goes. When the encounter deck runs out, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have to keep any weaknesses. No weaknesses. But all of these cards go into the discard pile. Alright, well I got rid of that one. Alright. Then I still have to do this. Test 2 will. This test gets +1 difficulty for every 10 cards in the encounter discard pile. Oh, man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 33 plus 3. So it's a test 5 will. If you fail, discard an asset. Well, I could get rid of the gun. I don't have to. You know what? I'm going to fail it. So, fine. I'll get rid of the gun. Just fail it automatically. All right. That was his. That was his. He had to draw until he got a hex card. So all the discard cards now have to be shuffled. That's crazy. All right, and now Daisy's got to draw. Daisy's got to draw. All right, well, at least I got rid of that stupid, when the encounter deck runs, oh, here we go. Got to do Daisy's because the encounter deck ran out. So hold on, let me go back and do hers. When the encounter deck runs out, take 2 horror and test 3 will. Okay. If you succeed, you can discard it. All right, so she's going to take 2 horror. 2 horror, which... that's not good. All right. Oh, that should not be in there. That's his weakness. Oh, no, that was hers. Excuse me. All right. And what did it say? Take 3... no, 2. 2 horror and test 3 will. All right. So, this one is going to trigger. Take 2 horror. So she has to take 2 horror. And test 3 will. Her will is 3. She has nothing to contribute. If she doesn't succeed, she has to keep that stupid card. 3 versus 3. And that is, draw another chaos token. All right, come on. 3 versus 3. That is -2. All right, I failed it. All right, so she has to keep this card in her deck. And he's got -1 and test 3. If you succeed, put it into play. You cannot trigger. Okay. So they got a lot of bad cards sitting on them. All right. That was her draw. So, oh no, did she draw? She drew. She did the. I don't think she drew. Did I draw a card? No, I didn't. I shuffled and I said she still has to draw. She got Nahab. Nahab is +X fight, so she is, and +3 health, so she's at 4 health. And +2 fight, so she's at 3 +2 fight. So she's at 3 fight, 4 health again. And she's engaged with her. Alright. The only way I can beat him, I have to engage. So I will have Mark go. Mark will engage Nahab for 1 action. Now, he's at -1 for the first skill test. So he's at 5 fight versus 3 fight. Then he's 4 versus 3. And he doesn't have anything to help him. 4 versus 3. 4 versus 3. 4 -1 is 3. So I do at least do a damage. That was second action. Third action, he'll do it again. 5 versus 3. He's back to full fight now. 5 versus 3, he did it. So he's got 2 damage on her, and he is done. At the end of his turn, reveal a... oh no, I don't have to do that anymore. You cannot trigger... okay, test 3. Oh, yeah, he's done. Alright. Daisy has 3 locations. I need to reveal all of them while she's there. I could do this. So I am going to... play Flashlight for 2. It's got 3 uses. That was her first action. Second action, she'll use one to knock this shroud down to 1. So she's at 5 versus 1. 5, that's a draw another one. 5, auto fail. So she's got one more action. She'll use a flashlight. 5 versus 1. 5 minus 2, she does it. Okay. So she reveals another one. Put it over here. How many are left? Oh, so, all right, so unless that's the witch's ruins, it's here somewhere. All right, so she used her third and final action. She is done. Now it is the enemy phase. Nahab will attack for 1 damage and 2 insanity. So, ooh. But Sophie, hold on. Sophie says, as an action, she can take a direct damage. You get +2 for your skill. Of course, if Mark has 5 or more damage, flip him. Flip her. All right, so he can't do that just yet. All right. Okay. After damage is placed on a card you control, draw a card. I keep forgetting to do that. So after damage, he can draw a card. He gets safeguard. All right. He has a special ability, which when he takes a damage, he can draw a card. So after damage is placed on a card you control, including mine. Okay. All right. So Nahab attacked. That's the only enemy. So these now it's upkeep phase. These flip over, each get a resource. Now I've got plenty of resources, just nothing to spend them on. He draws a card. 1-2 punch. That's going to help. She draws Explosive Ward and Holy Rosary. I want the Holy Rosary. Now, Place of Doom. 4 out of 8. Oh man, I got to get this wrapped up. Who went first? Mark went first, then Daisy, because she revealed, and then, okay, so Mark went first. He gets Swarm of Rats at his location, all right? Daisy gets Meddlesome Familiar. If Brown Jenkins is not in play, you have to pull him out and spawn him there. And then you shuffle the encounter deck. All right, thankfully, Brown just does not engage as long as you don't attack him. I love that about that card. That is very beneficial. All right, so I drew him, and then this gets discarded, and he is at this location, which I really just do not care. I need to find the witch's rent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I need 3 clues. I'm going to put this over here just because, well, no, he's got the clue, so he has to keep it. All right. That was, what was that? That was her drawing the event card, and Mark drew one as well. So Mark caused it. Okay. So Mark drew the Swarm of Rats. So now it is my turn. All right, Mark needs to kill Nahab, and he's got this great card called 1-2 Punch. Where is it? 1-2 Punch. It costs 2, which I will pay. And you get +1 fight. If you succeed, you may fight again, and you get +2 and deal +1 damage. So I'm going to, I could use that against the rats. The rats have 1 + 3. They have 4 health. No, I'm going to do Nahab. Get rid of her. Okay, you get +1 fight. So I'm 5 minus 1 is 4. +1 is back to 5. 5 versus 3. Does he have any cards to help with that? 5 versus 3. I do not. Does she have anything? Yes, overpower. 2. 7 versus 3. 7 versus 3. And that is -1. So he does do it, and that gave him +1. The 1-2. You get +1 fight for this attack. So it does 3 damage. Now I get +2 and I deal +1 damage. So he is now at 5, 6, 7 versus 3. 7 versus 3. And this will kill her if I win it. 7 versus 3. And this is his second action. I do. That's -2. So Nahab goes away again. And then my third and final action, I can deal with a Swarm of Rats. The rats have 1 health. 1 health and no, 4 health. Non-weakness. 4 health and 1 fight. Man, I could just evade, couldn't I? Dodge. When an enemy attacks an investigator, cancel that attack. I could do that. So I tell you what I'll do. I'll go ahead and fight it. I'm doing 5 versus 1. And I did, so that puts a damage on it. And he is done. Now here's the thing. On his turn, on the rat's turn, it'll attack, but I have a dodge card to play that won't do anything. Alright, at the end of his turn, you get -1, you cannot trigger, test if you... Okay, so I keep forgetting to get rid of these, but I keep getting attacked, so I can't do it. Alright, he's done. She needs to find the Witch House Ruins. Alright, and I need 2, 4, 6, I need 3 clues. So she's got to visit at least 2 locations. So she will move here, 1 action, and reveal. City of Elder Things, 4 clues. There's your clues. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's got 3 shroud. And it says, as a fast, after you reveal it, take 2 horror. Oh, man. She's going to go insane. I can put... She's got 9 and she's taken 5. She's got 4 sanity left. Alright. Put the top card of Unknown Places into play unrevealed. For the remainder of the scenario, City of Elders is considered to be connected to this location. If I can get all 4 clues, I get a victory point. So she's got 2 more turns. I'm going to pay 2 to get the Holy Rosary out, which gives her a sink of 2 sanity. That was her second action. And for her third action, I'm going to go ahead and try and get a clue. So 5 versus 3, and actually I'll use a fingerprint kit. Exhaust it, get +1. If you succeed, you discover an additional clue. So I'll play it, +1, so she's at 6 versus 3. And if I do this, I'll get 2 clues. 6 versus 3. 6 minus 3 is 3, so I get 2 clues. So she's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I need 1 more. For her, she moved. She investigated. She's got one more. And I'll use the last fingerprint kit. So it will go away. And this is also 5 plus 1. 6 versus 3. And if I do it, I get both clues. 6 versus 3. 6 plus 1 is 7. So I've got all the clues I need. Now I just need to find the witch's house. Or ruins or whatever. She's done. Enemy phase. The swarm of rats attack me for 1. Now I have 5 damage. Sophie says, if Mark has 5 or more damage, flip her. This says, Sophie cannot leave play. You are now -1 to each of your skills. If Mark has 4 or less damage on him, flip. I need to heal some damage so I lose that -1 skill. And he's also -1 on the first thing he does here. So he's not really going to help much. Alright, so the enemies went... Oh, hold on. Sorry, he took the damage from the rat. You know what? I'm not going to take the damage. I'm going to play dodge for 1. And that means the rat did not do the damage, so I don't have to flip Sophie over yet. Alright, there we go. Alright, that is the end of the enemy phase. Flip these over. They each get a resource. Card. Guts. She gets Lab Assistant and Curiosity. I'm going to take the Curiosity. It lets me use Investigate, so I don't want to do that. All right. End of the thing. Put a Doom token. There are 5 out of 8. Who went first? Daisy went first. Then no. Mark just got attacked. Mark went first, and then Daisy. Mark gets Terror in the Night. Test 4 will. If you fail, put it into the night. Okay. 4 will. He's 3. 4, 5, 6. 6 versus 4. 6 versus 4. This is good. +1 for each damage. So yeah, more than happy. More than did that. All right. That goes away. All right. And then Ghostly Presence. If Nahab is in play, ready her. If Nahab is at the site of the sacrifice, place 1 doom. Otherwise, search the deck and spawn her at your location. So Nahab, there she is. Nahab is here. That's not good. That is not good. All right. Okay. So that is it for the event cards. Now Mark has to deal with the rats. So let's go ahead and they've got 4 health. Man. All right, 4 health. And it's got 3 left. So 3 on his 3 turns, hopefully he can defeat this. So 5 minus 1 minus, 5 minus 1, 4 versus 1. 4 versus 1. Sophie did not flip. 4 versus 1. Does it. That's a second damage. Second attack, 4 versus 1. 5 versus 1. Excuse me. 5 versus 1. Did it. And yeah, so that's that. And third and final action, 5 versus 1. -2. So he does do it. So he kills the rats, but all his turns are over. Alright, so he's done. He just cannot catch a break and get rid of these cards here. Alright, let's see. Daisy now has to deal with Nahab, who now has 4 health and 3 fight. Daisy cannot fight her. So, what can she do? She really can't do anything except bring her to here. Man, I could evade, but evade is going to be almost impossible. If she doesn't fight and she moves, it gets an opportunity attack. So it's going to do 1 damage, which I can put on the Bulletproof Vest, and the 2 sanity, which are going to go on the Holy Rosary, which will disappear. But at least I bring her here, and then Mark could attack. Mark can attack, but he's exhausted. I should have done this first. Oh well. Live and learn. I can't fight her. I cannot fight her. I have nothing to help me fight her. My fight is 2 versus 3. And I've got nothing. 2 versus 3. That's just a waste of... If I fight her and I miss, she's got retaliate, so she'll damage me. So I can only... Alright, so this is gone. First action, I will move here. So it will do 1 damage to me. I will put that damage on the jacket, so the jacket goes away. Actually, I'll take it. Let's leave the jacket out. She's got, well, no, let's get rid of it. So now she's got 5 health, and that's it. All right. And it also does 2 insanity, which I'll put on the Holy Rosary, so it goes away. All right. So now it's here, but again, it cannot. Mark can't do anything. The only reason I brought it here was so Mark can attack it next turn. What can she do? She can only evade. If she moves again, it follows her and attacks her again. So she'll try to evade. 2 versus 3. Mark can contribute a wild to make that 3 versus 3. Although he needs this Elder Sign to... His sanity is going to be messed up. Alright, he cannot do that. So 2 versus 3. She does not have anything to contribute. All I can do is hope for the +1. 2 versus 3. Failed it. And for her third and final action, she's going to try to evade one more time. 2 versus 3. Might get lucky. Elder is +0. If you succeed, which I did not, draw a card. So she did not succeed. So she did not evade, which means, but her turn is over. So here, this is the bad part. Enemy phase. This will attack her for 1 damage and 2 sanity. She is now almost, she's at 5, 6, 7 out of 9 sanity. Oh, man. All right. So it attacks. So upkeep phase, flip these over. Mark gets 1. She gets 1. I need a weapon so bad. Card. A machete. I will take that. And working a hunch and Daisy's tote bag. Well, you know what? Daisy's tote has not helped me at all. But this will let me discover a clue, which I don't really need clues. I've got all the clues I need, but we'll hold it just in case. All right. Place a doom token. There are now 6 out of 8. Mark draws a card. Diabolic Voices. Test 3 will. 3, 4, -1. So it's 3 versus 3. I'm going to use Sophie. Take 1 direct damage, and you get +2. So that makes it 5 versus 3. I auto-failed. Oh. So I failed this, but Sophie flips. Now I'm at -1 because I got 5 damage. For each point you fail by, I auto-failed. So 3... I failed by 3. Take 1 for each card you cannot discard. So I got to discard 3 cards. Is it randomly? Random cards. All right. So I hope I don't get rid of the weapon. So let's get rid of 3. 1, 2, 3. Did I get rid of the machete? Yes, I did. And I got rid of my Elder Sign amulet. Darn it. Okay. That wasn't good. And Daisy draws a swarm of rats. Okay. My turn. Mark will engage Nahab. Nahab has no damage on her. And I've got 1 stinking card that doesn't do anything for me. Maybe I go find this witch thing. No, that'll be Daisy. Daisy's got to do that. All right. Mark just needs to deal with Nahab. All right, the bad news is I'm now at -2 to anything. So I'm at 3 versus 3 fight versus 3 fight. 3 fight versus 3 fight. I'll see what I can do. 3 versus 3. I did it. +1 for each damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he does plenty of damage. And he puts a damage on her. So third and final action is the same. 5 -2 is 3 versus 3. But he gets the +1. So he's at 4 versus 3. That is -1. So I did do it. So I do another damage. Not enough to kill her, but Mark is done. All right. Daisy is free to move now. One of these is those ruins. So let's do this. If I go 1, 2, 3, I could reveal 2 locations. If I get lucky, one of these is the witch location. So I've got 4 choices, and I can reveal 2. One of these 4 is the room. So let's do this one first. Worst case, this was the last card, which my luck, that would probably be it. So she'll go 1, reveal, not it. Forced. After you enter, test fight or agility 3. For each point, you take a damage. Oh, man. Her fight is 2, her agility is 2. She can get fight or agility, fight or agility. She has nothing to help her. So she's going to, all right, so she's at 2 versus 3. I just need a +1. Oh, she's got the stupid swarm of rats on her. I forgot. Let's go back. She's here. She's got to fight the rats. The rats have 4 health. Come on. I cannot beat. This is just ridiculous. I will try to evade. 2 versus 3, and I have nothing to use, so 2 versus 3. We'll just pretend this didn't happen, but I'll still go there in a minute. 2 versus 3. Failed it. Second action, 2 versus 3. Did it. Alright, so I evade the rats, which means now I have to move here. Alright, so the rats are evaded, which is good. She reveals this, and now she has to, after you enter test fight, for each point you fail, take a damage. Alright, so now I'll do this. So it's 2 versus 3. 2 versus 3. And the rats are here, and they were evaded. 2 versus 3. Come on, I need that +1 again. This is, draw another one. 2 versus 3. I failed it. Alright, so I failed it by 1 point, free to take a damage. So I take another damage. Alright. So she is done. Alright, now enemies. This one readies, and then it will engage him. It does 1 damage. Mayhab does 1 damage, so he's at 3, 6, 7 out of 9. Ooh. And 2 sanity. And guess what? He goes insane. I can't do anything. I just lost this. He has 5 sanity, and he has 5, so he is out of the game. Well, shoot. I mean, he's not dead. He's going to get a trauma on his next time at bat. So, oh no, those just stay here. He goes away. Nahab is here. These go away. And this goes here, and he is toast. So now it is enemy phase. Well, they just readied, so they're here. So it's now in upkeep, so this flips. I get a resource and 2 cards. Barricade and Research Librarian. Non-elite enemies cannot move. This is a non-elite, but this is an elite. Can this one go anywhere else? This one can go here, and it can also go somewhere else. I don't know what that symbol is. That's a weird one. Oh, it can go here. That one can go, no, I don't know what that one is. I don't know what that's. So I have to go from here back to here, and then, okay, so this is not good. I'll do Research Librarian. All right. Just to have some extra health. It has 1. All right. My turn. Oh, no. Doom. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of 8. Draw a card. Disquieting Dreams. Test 5 will. 3 will. When you have 4 or more cards in your hand. I do. Well, you have 7 or more in your hand. Okay. No, I cannot do that. I'll have 3 in my hand when I play it. Alright, let's see. How do I do this? Test 5 will. At the end of your turn, discard the top card of the encounter when you encounter. Okay, you know what? I'm not even going to pay. I'm not going to pay any cards. 3 will versus. I'm going to fail it. So let's just pull the card. 3 versus 5. I failed it. If you fail, put it in your threat area. So it's right here. And it's the one where at the end of your turn you discard a card. So I'll have to remember to do that. Alright. Daisy just drew Disquieting Dreams. So it is now her turn. This is going to get bad. I will pay 2 for 1 action to get out Research Librarian. After he enters play, search your deck for a tome and add it to your hand. Well, guess what? I want the Necronomicon, which I don't have. It must be in here. Alright, does it say search? Search your deck. Okay, so I cannot. Okay, Old Book of Lore, I don't want. Medical text, I do want. I will take that. Put it in your hand. Alright, second action. Oh, these go like that. Second action. First action, I did Research Librarian. Search your deck and add it to your hand. Shuffle your deck. Oh, I'm supposed to shuffle it. Alright. Alright. Now I have medical text. I will play it. Actually, can I? Yeah, I got 2 hands. So, medical text. As an action, she's an investigator. Test 2, investigate. If you succeed, heal a damage. If you fail, deal 1 damage. All right. I cannot heal horror, though. That's the bad news. But I can heal this. I'm not going to be able to evade both of these. Or even one of them. So, but I have to go through here to get to one of these. And these are going to do, they're going to engage me and do 2 damage. So if I heal, so first action I did the, first action I did something, I can't remember. Second action I played medical text. And the third action, I played research librarian. Second action, medical text. Let's heal. Let's use it. Choose 2, investigate. 5 versus 2. 5 versus 2. Don't fail. 5 minus 1, I believe. Yep, minus 1. Oh, it's minus 3 if you're extra dimensional. 5 minus 3 is 2. I still made it, so I heal a damage. She is done. Now it is the enemy phase. Now the rats are hunter. They will move from here to here and engage me and do a damage. Nahab is a hunter, so she will move here and engage me, and she does 1 damage and 2 sanity. And I believe that is, I'll put the damage on the research librarian, which kills him. Actually, I can put both, it does 2 insanity, so I'll put 1 heart, 1 sanity, and that means I take a sanity. So the research librarian is gone. You can do that simultaneously. 2, 4, 6, 8. I can take 1 more insanity before I lose the game. All right, so they're engaged with her. Now, she readies. Resource. Card. None of these help me. If this goes, I'll take this one. Why not? All right. I think that goes here. That was his last card that he didn't use. All right. Place a doom token. Guess what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Didn't I just? I just drew the 2 and kept the 1. Yes. So this gets flipped over. A sudden flash of violet light causes you to reel backwards. The spectral form of the crone is broken and shattered, but as you fall, you see a sinister grin play across her face. A jolt surges through you, blah, blah, blah. When you awaken, the witch light is gone, but a vision is burned in your mind. The ancient crone, bent over a slanted floor, leering gleefully at a rotting book, a misshapen knife in her crooked fingers. Behind her, the twilight abyss extends into oblivion. If it is Act 1 or 2, it is Act 2. Set Nahab aside, out of play. Oh, I needed that. Out of play, and place 4 doom on agenda 4A. If it is Act 3, place 1 doom. All right, so Nahab went away, but I got to put 4 doom on agenda 4, and it's got 8. 8, so it's halfway there. This says each non-weakness enemy gets plus 4 health. After you defeat Brown or Nahab, gain a clue. She needs to get rid of these rats and then get over to find that stupid place to forward this. All right, so rats are 4 health, 1 fight, but I have to evade them. So evade, I can't. I have nothing to evade. So she can take 3 more damage. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move with the rats so they do a damage. That's 1 action. Then I'm going to move here. The witch's house ruins. And the rats move with me, and I take another damage. Investigate. If you succeed, instead of going heal 2 horror. I can do that. So she moved. I can pay the 10. Okay, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. It's not an action. Doesn't take an action. Let's see what happens. I flip this over. Searching through the ruins, you find a rotting hole leading to a closed-off attic. Amidst the debris are crushed and splintered bones, some human, some not. More of Keziah's awful tomes are scattered about. On the floor, a circle has been carved into the wood. At the center lies a spatter of dry blood and a jagged knife. What terrible rituals were performed here? Perhaps there is a way you can know for sure. You take the knife and prick your hand deep enough for blood to swell in your palm. Using Keziah's formula, you draw a pattern in the circle and carve a path through time. Put the set aside site of the sacrifice into play. Okay, it can only be reached through here. Okay, so yeah. So it can only go here. I did get this for the victory, and I did get this for the victory. I got all the clues. All right. Put this out. If it is agenda 1, 2, or 3, it is agenda 4. Find Nahab, even if she's out of play, and place her at the site of the sacrifice. Man, site of the sacrifice. I just saw that. Witch's house, and I just had site of the sacrifice. What did I do with it? Jim, you just had it. Nahab, Brown Drink, Witch's Hunt, Keziah's Room. Oh, this was it. No, this was Salem's. Site of the sacrifice. Sorry. There we go. All right, these can all go away because they did not get investigated. And these did, right? No, those were the ones I did investigate, I believe. Nope, victory one. Nope, nope, nope. Which ones did I investigate? Oh, I already put them here. All right, sorry, I'm losing my mind here. All right, Nahab is, I don't know if she loses, she got taken out, but then she gets put back, so I don't know if she comes back at full health or not, but I'll play it that she does. Why not? Brown Jenkins is still here, and Nahab comes back here. So I am here with the rats. I just spent, and then let's see this, stopping the ritual. Nahab cannot leave the side of that. When Nahab is defeated, instead of discarding her, heal all damage from her, disengage her from all investigators, and exhaust her. She does not ready during the upkeep phase. If there is no doom on Nahab, advance. Well, there is no doom on her. Stopping the Nahab cannot leave the site of the sacrifice. Okay, hold on. Site of the sacrifice. So I have to get there, and it probably is going to empower her. So the problem is I'm going to die because the rats are going to do 1 damage to me, which will put me at 5. So I totally failed. I failed because that was it. She moved and she's got one more action. She can evade. She can evade the rats. Maybe she will do it. 2 versus 3. She's got one more action. 2 versus 3. And that is -1. Actually, it's minus, that's an extra, she failed it. So she failed it. She did not evade. So here's what's going to happen. Her turn is over. Is the enemy phase. This stays here, but it doesn't matter. The rats do 1 damage. I have 4, 5 maximum. So she is also defeated, which is bad for me because now, since I did not succeed, if no resolution was reached, each investigator was defeated. Flashes of vision spark your memory as you are dragged along the dirty wooden floor. A foul ceremony, the house, Nahab, a rhythmic chant, the spiraling black vortex, a dark revelry, the primal chaos, a child's cry, a writhing tunnel inside your chest. Proceed to resolution 1. You awaken in the muddy lawn at the base of some crooked wooden steps, the front door of the witch house looming above you. Every fiber of your being is filled with regret. You know you have failed to prevent something awful, though you are not sure what exactly. The evidence of your eyes and ears suggests what you now saw inside the witch house was not concurrent with here and now. Regardless, you've learned several things about Keziah Mason, the witch who once inhabited the old and forsaken house. With your spirit diminished and your body aching, this information will have to suffice. You dare not venture back into this infernal house. Each investigator earns experience equal to the victory display. Well, I think it's 4. 1, 2, nope, 3. 3. Brown Jenkins was defeated at least once. Each investigator earns 1 bonus XP. If Nahab was defeated at least once, earn 1 bonus. So now I'm up to 5. Check the Act deck. Act 3. If it was Act 1 when scenario ended, no additional record. If it was Act 3 when the scenario ended, in your campaign log, under Mementos Discovered, record Gilman's journal, All right, Gilman's Journal, mementos. Hold on, I kept somewhere for mementos. Where did I do that? Mementos. Here we go, mementos. So I'm going to add more. Mementos. Gilman's Journal. Keziah's Formula. Now I know I lost, so something bad's going to happen. It always does. If it was Act 3, when the scenario... Alright, additionally, any one investigator may add the black book to their asset. I will. This card does not count toward deck size. If an investigator chooses to include the black book in his or her deck, add 1 skull token for the remainder of the game. I will do that. 1 skull token. There we go. 1 skull token added. Alright, what else? Alright, that was resolution number 1. To be continued. The story continues in the next scenario, the wages of sin. Alright. Man, that was hard. I think that's the first time I've lost one with both. Well, I don't think so. Maybe I have lost with both investigators, but they both lost. Mark will come back with 1 mental trauma, meaning he'll start with 1 sanity. She went down with physical damage, so she will start with 1 physical trauma next time. I'll make a note of that in the book. And then 1 physical trauma, and Mark had 1 mental. Alright. Alright. That's all I got for this episode. I'll have to think about this one. This one was really hard. Alright, I did not succeed in uncovering whatever mystery was there, but what I love about this game is, even though you didn't succeed in one scenario, you keep pushing forward. The game will get harder. Obviously, I put 1 more skull token in here. They're going to start with some trauma the next game, which isn't great, but at least I get to continue forward in the story. So, this is Jim, the Tabletop Engineer. Thanks for joining me as I played another game of Arkham Horror, the card game. I will be back again in a week with scenario number 4. What was it? The Wages of Sin, I think it was called. The Wages of Sin. I hope you'll join me next time. Until then, everybody, take care.